siren. They try to break it down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. We're all in this together, it's alright, alright. They try to break it down, don't let them get ya. Rise against the system, see the bigger picture. Sound the siren, know that I am with ya. We're all in this together, it's alright, alright.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Circle of the Circle of the Earth Fellowship. I hope you are excited. You know, this is a pretty relevant topic that we're going to be talking about tonight. As you know, we had one happen, and then a few months later, we got this happening, and it just seems kind of like a trend of things going just coincidentally, luckily in their fortune. So but before we get in that, like always, let's go ahead and say hello to those who are on the panel today, and we'll get into it. So welcome Kyle, welcome Frankie B. Good to see you, brothers. How you doing, Kyle? Good to see you, Brand.
Here. I hope to see you soon. I'll be moving out to Utah here shortly, so
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, right down the road. And then I'll have to think about, like, maybe I get like a better camera and then you just come over and we sit in a room. Like, I don't know. We'll figure that out.
We'll have to figure that out, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. But yeah, good to see you. Excited for that as well, and excited to talk about this topic with you. It's there's a lot here for sure.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Well, let's jump over to Frankie B. Good to see you, brother. Shalom. How are you?
Shalom, shalom, everyone. Hope you had a great Shabbat. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the weather, baby, and with all these fires, and now I heard there's an earthquake out there.
Natural disasters.
Yeah. All these natural disasters, and it's crazy. Your seatbelts on, baby. Buckle up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a rough ride.
Yeah, and with the whole kind of like political thing, I wonder how much they're going to leverage of that to kind of keep Trump on his toes. So, you know, who knows? They already pulled out one natural disaster, you know, that attacked everybody through the air. So,
yeah, he's not even in yet.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, let's give a kind of breakdown on our ideas of our topic. It's directed energy weapons. Kind of named it "Burn It" because that's how, like, that's, to me, they're just flippant like that. They're like, yeah, we want to do some new buildings, some new cities. Let's just burn it. And we'll start from scratch because it's going to take way too much money to get those people out of there, to get those buildings demolished. You know, let's just build on the rubble of the past. And it really seems like that this is just one of the tools in their arsenal. We've already talked about the harp and its, you know, predecessors, and we talked about Blue Beam, and that's obviously not something that directly affects us, I guess, unless you're talking about the psychological part. But back to dues, this is something where I was kind of really like, do we talk about this? Because this is something like where I don't necessarily have a solution or a way to say don't be scared, because like really it's seemingly it's up to them and their discretion at where they use this thing. And I think it would be kind of naive to think that this technology doesn't exist, but it seemingly does. There's footage, and we're going to obviously look at that tonight and talk about it, but it just seems like I would be naive to not believe that they had these capabilities with the evidence that's out there, and the motive, right, or the opportunity of the motive, like we kind of see in North Carolina, and the lithium mine and the hurricane and the directed. It seems like it was directed there by plane. So, again, that wouldn't surprise me if they have technology like this and that they would use that for their own nefarious reasons. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts about it. One little last thing I want to add is I think that it comes in different forms. Like here I have pictures of drones. It could be drones like that. It could be drones way higher. It could be satelloons. It could be aircraft, like flown aircraft. I think there's a lot of ways that they could achieve these type of results that we're seeing. And so I won't necessarily say I know exactly the math and the science behind how they're doing what they're doing. I just will say that it seemingly they are doing it for these reasons. So let me throw it to you, Kyle. What are your kind of thoughts about D.E.Ws and their kind of implications?
Yeah, I mean, technologically speaking, they're a fairly simple technology. I mean, we have Amazon versions of little small laser beams that you can, buy that really you could torch a tree or a house or whatever if you really wanted to, and they're very powerful. I mean, it's like the idea of a big magnifying glass or something like that. Like the idea of the technology isn't there. Is where most people, I guess, get hung up on is like, why would they do that to this and do that to us, and or could they do that to us? And it's like, well, I mean, they kind of tell you that they do. It's no different than the whole 9/11 thing,
Yeah.
where it's like a Jewish lightning, where insurance fraud, everything kind of just goes into a fire and poof, what happened? Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I'm a victim, sorry. And, people just kind of forget about what was there, and they move on. But I mean, if these are orchestrated attacks, and it makes me wonder, like, why exactly would they be burning certain areas or certain people's houses, or they have told us their agendas of where they plan certain cities, and it seems that they don't, the revelation of the method is in full effect all the time. They're always telling us
Mm-hmm.
what they're going to do before they do it. And if you're just keen enough to see those signs, and they always speak in signs and symbols, if you're keen enough to see those, it doesn't really come as a surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, they've been doing this, and they've been talking about it, and it's really interesting how political it gets, right? Because you'll have you know the proponents of global warming, right? Like they'll be like, see, this is all global warming, right? And then it's like, well, no, it's because they're not cleaning the national forest. And it's like they're all arguing about the fire, like all these different aspects of it, but it seemingly they never ask questions about, like, wait, why, like, how did this happen, right? And it's always like no one ever gets in trouble for these wildfires. No one ever gets like, oh, this is how it started. Like they make these vague claims on that about the fires, and like right now with the stuff going in Cali, right? It's all like, oh, well, they didn't have the water. And it's like, and even with Maui, right? Like same thing. Like they were talking about all of the other things except kind of some more, what I would say is more crucial information, right? And it's like, I feel like that's why they do these in the way that they do them. Because one, they can claim that, like at the very least, that's a natural disaster, right? Or they can claim an arson did it, or some type of thing like, oh, they were trying to burn down all the rich people houses. Like they can go with some motive, but it's like I don't know. To me, it just seems so convenient in the ways that it's hit, and we'll look at that. How like you'll have houses right next to each other, one's burnt, the other's not, and it kind of makes no sense with some of this. We'll see, but
A
yeah,
tree being there next to a burnt down house and a melted car.
yeah,
Tree next to it is just fine. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, crazy. Well, great points there. Let's jump to you, Frankie B. What are your kind of thoughts about this? What you know? What your thoughts about them and their implications?
Well, I don't know why they're doing it in Cali. It must be maybe they're trying to build a smart city. Maybe they're trying to buy all that property back for themselves. Maybe they're just trying to get the oil fields locked down, because when they get damaged, they might get sold, or they might be able to buy them. I don't know. It's and it's California's their capital. That's their playground. That's their capital city.
That in New York.
That in New York. That they're their meccas. They're the places that they all live. They're the whole. That's it might have something to do with the ports. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we have some video to reveal what the heck is actually going on. We always find out.
Well, no. Well, I won't say we know like for sure, right, what it is. Like we can speculate, and a lot of these times, right, it comes down to coincidence, right? It's like it you think they would really destroy all this area just so this thing like and I get that most good people, they don't assume other people have wicked intentions, right? Like they don't assume that they're lying and being treacherous. So I can understand how there are people out there that can overlook those things, but to me it's like, as Kyle was saying, like those who have keen vision and they see kind of things, like think about all the movies about wildfires and how they're set, and like even in global warming movies, right? You're having an increased wildfires, and it's just like it to them, they don't like it. They win so much out of it, right? Because they get the land, they get the narratives that they want to put out. And even if there's a group of people that don't believe in particular parts of the narrative, they're still, like Tyler was saying, pay no attention to the man beyond the curtain. It was an arsonist. It was global warming. It was power lines. It was the Democrats, right? Like so many Republicans, they're not even focused on like the other aspects. They're like, oh, it's all the Democrats' fault. And I think like, that's the point of it. That's why they get so many things out of these type of events. And that's why, to me, it's like, well, obviously they're doing them then. It's like it's benefiting such a small group of people. So to me, it's evident by the amount of benefits that their finger their hands are in the cookie jar. So,
and they already admit that technology exists, and they have it in full application and warfare scenarios. So
yeah, like you can go, like you were saying, go to Amazon or go to YouTube and look up a laser starts a fire, right? And like then think about it. Okay, well we gotta jump it up a level where this is like military grade, right? So think whatever you could do, they can do much better. They have the time and money and resources.
And what they show you that they have much better.
Yeah.
And they already say they have this. So
yeah.
It's, this isn't even a conspiracy.
Yeah, we're only seeing technology from 30 years ago. You know what I mean? And what they have now is ramped up way higher than 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I agree.
All right, sweet. Well, let's start checking out some vids.
Even that video we did on Vietnam, how they controlled the weather to make the
cloud seeding
Trail and all.
Yeah.
That was 40 years or 50 years ago. Now that technology is through the roof. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and you even told people like I was telling people about it like 10 years ago, and people were like, "What?" I'm like, "Here is literally declassified saying that they can do this." You know what I mean? So it's like,
Exactly.
but people are like, "Well, no,
They
it
wouldn't do
sucks."
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why would they lie?
Yeah. Why?
Why would they lie?
All right,
How does
so
it
Imagine
why?
question.
well, let's watch. We're gonna start with Frankie's shorter videos. After each video, let's kind of talk about it and see where the conversation leads. So here we go. We're gonna check this one out. Oh, I am not. Why am I not getting sound? Does this not have sound?
Didn't have sound.
Oh, okay. So just like lasers, just showing the intensity of it. Interesting. They're selecting something. Boom.
Yeah, and what it's showing is they're shooting them from a satellite from a boat to a satellite to their target.
Let's see. So okay, so this is like a weapon system that they would have on a boat.
Right.
And I'm sure they could put this, make it smaller, and put this on anything they wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, boom, right there. Cut a hole into the engine, stop the engine.
Or a plane.
Yeah. Cuts the, yep, see? But that could be literally the opposite, right? There could be a laser on there.
Which one is it? I mean, while I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, is the
Yeah.
laser coming from the ship or is it coming from the plane now?
Yeah.
We're probably both.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if they have the capability of doing it that way, they could obviously do it the other way.
The other way.
And that looks like it's an
Predator
unmanned
drone.
drone,
Yep.
too.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So
That's a whole new technology, unmanned aircraft.
No, and that's what I kind of have. I have like in this picture, you see, there's drones and they're shooting lasers and there's fires in a town, you know, and it's like if we have drones that are noisy, guarantee you they have drones that are not noisy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and so like they're showing it there as a laser, and I'm not saying they're not visible lasers because it seems like they are, but it wouldn't even surprise me if they have lasers you can't see, that aren't within the visible light spectrum, but still give like a reaction like that. So yeah, right there they were literally showing it on boats. So what else could they put that on?
Yeah, exactly. A drone would make total sense, like the Predator drone.
Yeah. Yep. Any thoughts, Frankie, about that clip?
It's just,
Yeah, they're
they
showing it like
they have far more than they're showing.
yeah, they're like, "Hey, look at this cool technology. We can burn a Predator drone, or we can burn a drone from a ship."
They can attack a nation with unmanned aircraft and lasers. God, that is
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to play.
They can attack any city on Earth with unmanned drones
And what's crazy is the people who own those buildings, right? They're going to be the same people that are going to rebuild, but they're going to do it for way cheaper. They're going to do it with better technology, right? And they're going to get all that cash from insurance money, right? So it's like this is a win-win for them.
Yep. And I heard that the residential, that people that just owned land in the area, their insurance was lapsed, where they can't even file a claim now. Now they've lost everything.
Yeah, there's
3 days
that were that had multi-million-dollar properties, and they were sitting on that land, and it was their collateral. They were using that to do business. Now they're completely wiped out. the little man is wiped out.
Yeah, that's always how it goes.
Not part of the club, now you're wiped out.
Yeah.
They give them an opportunity to join the club. They say no. Okay. Then they wipe them out.
Yeah. All right, let's check this out. This is obviously this is from a while back, but we saw the same type of things here. But let's see what this news person has to say. I wonder if that changed. It's still going on, or like I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I know. Well, Shalom, Devin. I agree. Like this is small potatoes to them. This is not only a distraction, but it's also like I was saying before. You may have missed. Like they're getting so many things out of this. They're getting the land. They're getting the insurance. They're getting so much. They're getting the whether they want to go the global warming route or they want to go, it's the Democrats' fault for not cleaning out the forest. And yeah, you couldn't hear her.
They can blame anybody they want.
Okay.
It has no sound.
Okay, let me fix that, guys. For some reason, I don't know why it does this. It's so annoying. Okay, game. There we go. Make sure that's medium. Okay, now it should work. Let me skip it. Take it back. Oops, I'm clicking on the wrong one. That's why. Okay, now y'all should be able to hear.
These viral images claim to reveal what caused the Maui wildfires. Ariane Tilly is here to verify if those images are legit or not.
The wildfires that swept through Maui are the deadliest in U.S. history in more than a century. At least 100 people have died and more than 850 are missing. On social media, people are speculating about what could have caused the fires. One trending theory is that the fires started due to an attack from a directed energy weapon. 3 viral images appearing to show evidence of directed energy weapons have been shared online. But do these images really show that directed energy weapons started the wildfires in Maui? Let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Government Accountability Office, the National...
Isn't it interesting how they, even with like the direct energy weapons, they show it from a satellite, right? Like even drilling that in.
Yeah.
Always showing it from a fake CGI satellite.
Yeah.
National Weather Service, a reverse image search using Revi, the Canton Repository, SpaceX, and Chilevisión Noticias, a Chilean news company. If you haven't heard of directed energy weapons, I've got you covered. They're weapons like lasers that use energy fired at the speed of light to damage or destroy targets. According to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, many countries, including the U.S., are researching their use. But these viral images do not show those weapons. As of August 21st, the exact cause of the Maui wildfire is still unknown, although the National Weather Service says the...
Wow, and it's still unknown. And it's still unknown now, right? Like, have they ever...
That doesn't rule out a direct energy weapon if it's unknown, does it?
Yeah. It's like we know they're not those weapons, but we don't know what it is. Yeah, it's so preposterous.
The risk of
It
fire
won't come out for 20 years.
Huh.
It's like 9/11 didn't come out for 20 years.
Yeah. It's so preposterous.
It is.
Given high winds and dry conditions on the island.
Ooh, isn't that exactly what California is? High winds, dry conditions. Sounds like it was optimal for use of some type of directed energy weapon. I'm just saying.
So what is actually happening in these images? A lot of different things that have nothing to do with Maui. Using a reverse image search, Verify traced this picture back to a January 2018 Facebook post from the Canton Repository.
So what you're saying is that sometimes they post fake pictures? Like, can we talk about all the children's pictures of the place in Connecticut? How people are like, that child doesn't live in Connecticut. They live with me in this other state, and that child's still alive. They're with me at home. Like, so just because someone posts those pictures, it means they can't be real. And look, I guarantee you they select all these ones where they know what it is. Let's see.
A local Ohio news outlet claiming to show footage of a controlled burn at a refinery in Ohio. We traced this image back to posts from SpaceX in May of 2018. According to SpaceX, the images show a time-lapse photo of a SpaceX rocket launch in California. And finally, Verify traced this image back to a viral TikTok video from May 25th, 2023. According to the original description, the video was taken in Chile. A Chilean news outlet shared the footage, saying it shows a transformer explosion. So we can verify, no. These 3 images do not show evidence that directed energy weapons started the wildfires in Maui.
How much you want to bet they found photos that they couldn't verify either way, and they chose to choose the ones they could verify were false? Yeah, you'd know it's true. We'll see.
They got the litter while they censor everything else.
Yeah.
Sure, exactly. It's CNN.
Maui. All 3 are older images taken from other parts of the world, and none of them show directed energy weapons.
That's why
To
you know
verify,
directed
I'm
energy
Abby
weapons don't exist.
You're muted.
That's literally the media, right? That's how they work. They set it up and then they spike it, right? It's like
They straw man an argument, and then they smack it down with the most, simplest dumb logic they can use. It's never anything that's like in depth. It's always just, we know and hereby, believe us because it's the news. Like, well, I don't think we do all believe you.
yeah. What are your thoughts, Frankie B?
Yeah. Well, of course they're going to declare it as misinformation or conspiracy. That's what their job is.
Yeah, we're not surprised that they're going this angle. Of course, they have to. That's what they get paid to do.
Exactly.
Sweet. All right, let's check this out. This is California Direct Energy Weapons Color Enhanced View. So let's see what this shows.
While this is playing, can I just say this feels like deja vu from, however many years ago when this was happening in California and people were talking about their trees igniting from the inside out and all the same kind of talk.
Same kind of experiences and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, please explain how the bark is not burned, but the inside of the tree is on fire. Like, I know that can happen with lightning strikes, but there aren't any reported lightning strikes, right? We're picking something else, something different else. Let's see what Joe Rogan has to say about this.
One day,
Mr. Toe, the short toe Rogan.
he goes, it's just going to be the right wind, and fire's going to start in the right place, and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean.
Oh my God, Joe Rogan, you're a prophet, bro.
I was just thinking that.
I'm so glad you gave us the truth, man.
You haven't ever flip-flopped once in your life.
I know you wouldn't swear to your mom. I know you were joking.
It's aliens, bro. I understand. Oh, you made it.
I'm just saying, bro, if I was driving through this, that would be intense, bro. Like, I would not want to be driving through fire on my right and through my left. Like, no thank you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've experienced some of that here in Colorado, and it's not fun. We had the Waldo Canyon fire and the Black Forest fire just right outside Colorado Springs, west and north Colorado Springs. Man, I mean, those flames were 200-300 feet tall. They were huge.
Yeah, and not only that, it's like your car can't survive that additional heat, like coming through, like for very long. So it's like,
Nah.
if you get caught in that, like quickly, your car's gonna get,
Yeah, then you can't breathe, and you're done. So.
Yeah. All right, let's keep chugging.
I felt like it could fall apart at any moment. It was
Yeah.
always like I was always waiting for the next earthquake or the next fire. I was evacuated 3 times from my house from fires.
Jesus.
Yeah. Last one, 2 houses in front of my house burnt to the ground. Right in front of my house.
What the?
Yeah, the wildfires were crazy.
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Scary. When you see them coming, I came home from the Comedy Store and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
By the way, the Comedy Store is gone. I don't know if y'all know that.
In the fire?
Yeah, it's gone in the fire.
So is Diddy's house.
Are you serious?
Oh, really?
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what it is. They're trying to cover up evidence.
And you know it lit on fire with all that baby oil inside.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just trying to
They already. Well, I'm sure there's more that they didn't get, but
they claim a whole bunch of celebrities' houses burned down, and that's there's a lot. I'll have to find the list because
it's crazy.
and then
they're all on the Diddy list.
Oh my god.
Now everyone has sympathy for all these elites and all the. And now they're going to overlook all the BS that they're doing. Oh my God, they lost their millions. Oh my God, Diddy's house burned down. This person's house burned down.
You should have investigated his house 2 days.
Now they're collecting money, and now they're asking people to support the Red Cross for all these rich people that are losing all their land or all their houses and everything. Now they want us to, pour money into the Red Cross. So
Matt Damon, Tom Hanks, Jennifer Aniston, and more. Yeah, it's literally woe is the richest people in the world who are going to get paid more. Remember how they also. Let's pull this up real quick. I'm going to push this down. Remember here recently where they changed the taxes laws in California when it comes to selling houses, where if it was over, the value of the house was over a certain amount, that the state would take a huge portion of the sale of the house, of the proceeds.
Really?
Yeah. So think about this. Now they get their money cashed out and they don't have to pay any taxes on it.
That's possible too, yeah.
So they could just say, you know what? Instead of rebuilding, I'll get rid of land. I'll take the cash out and go build it somewhere else, right?
Even if it weren't the case, this
That's
isn't
the
all
scary
their,
thing.
their
They're going to
own
go to
hope.
Texas, and they're going to go to all these other states, and now, but they're probably going to go possibly to red states to combat the red wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's just part of the game too, but
Yeah, that is part of it.
yeah. Let's keep chugging with this Joe Rogan clip. Oops, wrong one.
Old Joe Rogan.
And me and my wife were looking out the window at the fire coming over the hill. And we made an early call. We said, look, if we're wrong, we come back, the house is still here. But let's just get the out of here now. I'm like, that's too close. They weren't evacuating yet. I'm like, let's get out of here. And so we got all of our shit, and we got a hotel in Beverly Hills. And then next thing you know, it swept through our neighborhood.
That's horrible.
It burnt 40 houses in my neighborhood.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it was crazy. It was weird, man. And when you see the walls of flame that are from the left to the right, everywhere you can see is flame.
And not only are the people getting the insurance, right? I know not everyone is in on this, and everyone's house that burns, like they get the benefit of the doubt. No, usually the small person. But also look at the power lines. All of that infrastructure has to be rebuilt too. That's guaranteed work for the government.
Oh yeah, and it disconnects to anything between those locations that has to be connected by necessary infrastructure like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now this devastated area, your economy's going through the roof now, because now you have carpenters working, electricians working, pipe fitters working, masons working. Every
Uh-huh.
field of the contracting business is working. Land developers, drillers, everything.
Yeah,
That's smart.
exactly. Yep, all of it.
Going up. It's spooky, man. It's spooky like a horror movie. I talked to a fireman once. He was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean and there's not a thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing.
You know, Vader, pause it for a second.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, this
So
is
crazy.
another reason for them to declare where our tax monies is going to help LA, to help California. It's another reason for us to them to continually tax us, and because they tax us on everything, our paychecks, and then every penny we spend is taxable,
Yeah.
and then our property tax. They're just taxing the crap out of us, and now they're just making up excuses to continue. So that we don't, say, why are you taxing us so much, and start to grumble about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude, if I saw this, I would... Dude, that's insane, bro. You are not supposed to be
man.
there.
I'm not videotaping it, I'll tell you that. I'm running out the house.
Yeah. Well, what if you can't? What if you open the door and what you're seeing out those windows is in front of you? Like,
Right.
On my knees, then.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that guy did escape in that video we were watching just then with that, when he was surrounded. But it is insane because it's like, all it has to be is just hotting up. Like people reporting their tires melting to the ground as they were leaving, and most people had to evacuate their cars because cars were piling up, and then the fire department trying to get in there with their stuff, and all the cars were there, so they had to move them out of the way with all the bulldozers and skids that they had at their disposal. But it's wild because you get stuck, and I mean it could happen in an instant with the way that these happen. It's not like you would have a warning. If you were nearby, you'd really get closed in quick. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, and then of course you add in Teslas, right, which are literally like a little
Or
mini
smart meters.
bomb, right? A little,
Incendiary devices.
Yeah.
Like a smart meter in a home too. Like, we're discussing direct energy weapons, but honestly, I would also contend that everyone's house that has these smart meters, especially in LA where it's code to have all that, they could very easily be reverse engineered into incendiary devices. That's not something that's too far of a thought for my own mind, at least.
and yeah, and then with the Teslas, right? Like you have all this lithium. Like it's not like, okay, gas engines, yeah, right? But it's like, even if it's a full tank, right? Like that gas is gonna burn pretty quickly. Those lithium fires, bro, like it's gonna keep burning into all that material. It's not like gas where it's gonna poof be gone. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's boom.
Fireworks.
Yeah, literally in the middle of a whole bunch of cars, right? Dear Atlanta. So intense. All right, let's check this out.
Well, it seems it's about that time again. Time I go patent hunting, because every time there's something big in the news, I seem to find a patent. And I don't know if you've seen this picture or this video. Or this video where things from the other fire west of LA, the blue things didn't seem to want to burn. None
That's
of them.
because they have fire
brings
retardant.
us to
Duh. Don't you know what fire retardant is? They set that up on purpose. Come on.
This video, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen, where a certain color doesn't seem to be impacted by that directed light. Which brings us to US patent number 103378. You can see the rest, but click on it, and what do we have? I'm not even going to say it up there, but you can read, and you can click, and you can read, and you can scroll. Go look for yourself.
So crazy, bro.
I'll tell you one thing I probably know for sure, though, is I bet a lot of the elites in that area, I bet none of them lost their lives. I bet they had some advanced warning of what was coming. But of course, all this is just speculation and satire, and I don't even know if that is CGI, AI, or what, but if I were you, I'd use my noggin and research more myself. Entertainment only, of course.
I think you're muted.
Here's a point I want to talk about from what we just saw. So with that guy, right? Like he shows those pictures that lady showed before, right? She goes directed energy weapons. This is what it's about. Here's pictures. All these pictures are not directed energy weapons. Therefore, the normal person goes, there is no such thing as directed energy weapons. I really liked how that guy said, oh no, here's the patent to do this exact thing. Here's the patent. You can Google it, right? And people will still be like, no. And it's like that naivety does not help, anybody at all.
Yeah, people just don't want to admit that they were lied to. That's the whole problem. They don't want to. They don't want to admit that they've been lied to. They don't want to, come to the conclusion that the government's been lying to them. That think of their money.
Totally. And real quick, I saw this picture, made me think of something. Isn't it interesting how they always show us the things out at ship? Now think about it. Even their guns are bigger, right? So they always show us this big blown up version of this equipment. And I think it almost like subconsciously says to people, oh, you have to have this big amount of equipment to make this work. They could never scale this down to fit on a Predator, to fit on a, quad drone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just think about that. They always show it really big. And one, and two, they're doing it out in the ocean where there is no prying eyes. You know what I mean? Like, there is no people that were driving by and saw it happen on the test range. You know what I mean? So this is deep where they know whoever's on the ocean, how far away they are, all that jazz. So, yeah,
that's definitely 20-year ago technology. Easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Muted.
And look at that. The strikes are silent and invisible as lasers move literally at the speed of light. So they don't even need to do like a constant beam to get the fire hot. Literally all they have to do is boom, shoot it. And look at the burst. Like, let's go back here when it hits the table. And look at the burst that, like, the force it actually has when it hits the table. Boom! Like, that's an intense force going on there.
Radiation, yeah.
Like they're playing skeet with the drones. They just shoot them up and then they're just shooting them down.
Yeah, it's like
And
automatic.
the laser doesn't. All the laser has to do is have the drone cross its path.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they can go ahead of it and just let it fly into it, and you can't even see the laser, the enemy target. You know what? The enemy can't even see the laser, and it can fly right through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
And isn't it funny how, like, they were showing these big laser beams, like, oh, this is directed energy, when on CNN it literally says, oh, no, we have lasers that you can't hear or see be able to cause these devastating fire effects. But, yeah, no, we know nothing about what we just said. It's, like, so stupid.
Hey, I remember in school when the kids would bring the little pointers in and shine them in people's eyes and shine them at the teacher, and they would get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's just pre-programming that, you know, they have these laser pointers. Yeah, we've been using lasers all our lives. Yeah, sure, it's no big deal.
They don't start fires.
They don't. They never started fires. We used to use them for pranks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I
totally.
used to play with my cat.
All right, let's see.
There's a chamber inside with special materials that release photons.
If you're looking at a boat coming in over the water, you can target exactly the engine and take out exactly the engine and not necessarily damage anything else. So, and that type of precision weapon work is something that you don't really get with conventional.
So, like, you could take out a house, but not a car. Or you could take out a car, but not a tree.
Or one single house.
Yeah.
And not the whole neighborhood.
Yeah. How convenient.
Yeah.
Weapons, because there tends to be more collateral damage.
It's useful against a variety of threats, surface or air. It's not a niche weapon system like some other weapons that we have, you know, throughout the military, where it's only good against air contacts or it's only good against surface targets.
You're muted.
Oh, I was like, I want to see something. This came out 7 years ago. 7 years ago, they were talking about this. You don't think within 7 years they've been able to pack this thing down into a smaller package? Like, and this is them showing it 7 years, not necessarily when it was built. So
we built 10 years earlier than that.
Yeah, no, totally. Which means you're 17 years of
Exactly.
research
Now
and development.
It's got to be even smaller now, and it's more mobile, and now they can put it on anything.
Yeah.
Either way, they could do enough sleight of hand to make whatever happen that they need to happen.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
you know, they're organized enough to do whatever they need to do. It's just
Very true, very true. All right, let's keep checking. Yeah, dude, it's just like over and over and over. Like, we saw them have it in a modeled stage, and then we see it actually being used, and then we, you know, it's like, how much proof do you need that this stuff is real and exists? So, let's check out a few of these videos. These are a little bit longer videos. Not this one. But not this one. But look at that. God, man. Like, what? Just trees burning on fire, not the bushes next to them, not anything else around, but literally in the trees. Like, what the heck, man? Like, how...
is that fake?
It might be, right? It might be, but
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I personally don't.
It could totally be real.
What is
too.
that? What even is that? It's not. I'm not going to speculate, but I obviously say that was like fire coming down from the clouds to the earth. I don't know what.
Yeah, and that was like way too low for it to be like. I guess it kind of comes from this storm cloud, so you could just say, oh, it's the storm or whatever.
What's above it?
I love how the insurance company don't cover an act of God.
Yeah.
What God? What God don't they cover? Is it an act of the God or their God?
Yeah.
Their God. So many gods. Yeah. Good question.
Let's look at this.
Question, Frankie.
This newly released footage shows the Dragonfire laser directed energy weapon system in action, and it could be in the hands of military personnel in 5 years' time. It destroys targets with an intense beam of light and has pinpoint accuracy. It's able to hit something the size of a £1 coin from a kilometre away.
A 1 pound coin from a kilometer away, bro. 1 kilometer in the sky, it can hit a coin. It can just
dollar coin or a pound.
Yeah, a pound coin. Sorry.
Same. It's the same thing. It doesn't. It's
about the size of a silver dollar.
Yeah, like, dude, that's insane. That's literally
any target.
Yeah, and let's mix it with a silent, like, let's say that you can't see it, right? Any picture that has a laser is fake, right? Even if that's the case, we already saw them say we can shoot a laser that's silent and speed of light. You can't see it, you can't hear it.
And you can't see it. You can't. You can see it. You can see it destroy its target, but you can't see it project through the air. Maybe at night, maybe through a medium like fog or smoke or something. I don't know necessarily, but like you said, it's could be on a different wavelength. Could be on the visible light spectrum that we can't see.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We've been talking about the cost of firing a laser weapon to be £10 a shot. And really all we're talking about is the cost of the energy that you need to fire the laser weapon. Obviously, once you've got the system in place in the first place. And that compares very favorably with missiles, which might be thousands or tens of thousands or even more
per shot, yeah. Which I'm sure the military industrial complex isn't too keen on making war cheaper. Let's see this.
What kind of shirt survives a fire like that, I wonder? A shirt that says Sister Revolution. Hard to believe, huh? The whole building goes down. The whole street goes down, and then these shirts survive somehow. The Sister Revolution. A lot of them, actually. It's crazy.
Now, I get the kind of the blue thing, but at the same time, we saw the laser. But I will say, like, well, blue shirts, I can show you, I can light a blue shirt on fire, right? So it's not like that blue stuff is, like, well, let's paint everything blue then, and then they can't burn us. Like, no, I don't think that's
actually what they were doing in Lahona. Some of the houses, they were painting the roofs blue.
I am curious, though, if it's blue, if there's something to do with blue being the frequency that it's, being the highest frequency, and that therefore that's what's needed to burn. But I mean,
if you set something next to a blue thing on fire, right, that's not blue, then it should still burn the blue thing. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna auction these shirts off.
I'm gonna make some money. I think the blue was like kind of almost a tie-in from COVID, or it was pushing to something else like that happened after. I don't remember. Like maybe there was another push of Ukraine or whatever, and that's why blue was the color. I wonder. Like, see, this is super interesting, but again, if you got this caught on fire, wouldn't that catch on fire. It's like that. Yeah, this may be immune to the blue laser, but it's not immune to flames. So.
Those are like pieces of wood that were blue or different colors.
I
Like
don't
if
think
that
there-
one next to it got on fire, the blue one would too. Structurally, just like burn through all of them. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't think it works like that. I think the direct energy, it just consumes everything, but it won't consume the blue. You see how it's leaving strikes in the red and the yellow?
Yes, but if you were able to get
it on fire, it's not setting it on fire. It's just damaging it.
Well, no,
And if you run that laser across the whole thing of red, it'll disintegrate it. It won't catch it on fire, though.
Well, you see some fire, and he's going through it quick. What I'm saying is, if you caught, let's say, the red, right? If there was something like wood underneath the red that would then catch on fire, the blue thing right next to it wouldn't then be immune from fire, right? It would still burn.
I agree with that. I guess where I would have the issue is when I see blue fabrics next to like melted cars and palm trees, and it's, or maybe the palm trees burn too, but there's like an umbrella there that's not burned.
And that's why I'm saying I wonder how much of it is that compared to like they intentionally did that as kind of like a sign for other people, like, hey, blue. You know what blue?
Sure.
You know what blue means. I don't know. I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying like I do have some skepticism on the blue thing, but I do think it's interesting that lasers don't work on it. Just saying, if there was a piece of wood under all of those things and the wood caught on fire, the blue would still burn. That's all I'm saying. But let's keep chugging.
This video came across my For You page, and here it is, slowed down, where I noticed there's a lot more blue tarps than originally shown in the videos. And notice there's 4 trees, not 3. And they pan over to show a little bit more. Nothing that stands out here, nothing out of the ordinary. Well, besides the fact that this city is decimated, something fishy about those blue tarps. Anyway, just wanted to share this new finding. Watch my other video that explains that those blue tarps are just hiding reflectors, beams. Probably 5G antennas or something. This.
I gotta mute the sound guy, though. I'll get copyrighted.
Don't you think the palm trees would be burnt to the ground if it worked like that with fire? Maybe it's just like a laser that just consumes and damages.
That's why we're here speculating, because because this is pretty crazy. What we're seeing, it doesn't line up with just a normal fire. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Laser weapons can be programmed for different wavelengths.
There's just a better view of this.
There was something blue they didn't want to burn.
Blue car did not burn in flames. Same as the blue umbrella.
But see, like, here's something that, like, I can't get behind when it comes specifically to that. Can we see it? Do we know that? So that was the only blue car that existed on the island?
Red car, like, there wasn't a red car just down the street that also didn't get burned or something?
Yeah, or there what, like, did the exact number of blue cars that were registered on the island are the exact cars that didn't burn? You know what I mean? Like, there was no blue.
Or did all the blue cars burn? You know, kind of thing.
No, or did all the blue cars survive? I should say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I actually meant to say. And I'm curious though if it's kind of like a kid with a magnifying glass. You know, if it's just scorches here that start great fires and they spread and he moves over to here and burns this area, and it's just So maybe there is a mix of this and that. It's, good question. I don't know.
Yeah, like some of the fires are started with the direct energy weapon, and then they spread naturally, right?
Exactly.
And then things blow up, and then they spread, and then so they kind of just stay. They just hit the kind of strategic spots that they need to get what they're after.
Right. And it's interesting how they don't burn down stone structures to the ground. It burns through the timber very quick. I mean, I guess you would assume that fire would, but I mean, just some of the reports of how quickly, things go up into flames. It seems like a laser. Oh, you're muted.
Real quick, just shout out to some of the guys, Anonymous Cosmonaut, Devin Horner, welcome, Brian. Brian said, remember what devices they were making sure that 99% of the population's home had installed. Kyle was talking about that earlier, the smart meters, which are like basically little mini bombs. Yeah, no, totally.
Be installed in California.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of a point, like maybe the blue were markers of where like around they wanted to hit. Like, who knows? There's so many things that it could be, but let's check this video out. We're not gonna be watching the whole. Oh, why did it skip like that? We're not gonna be watching the whole thing, but just check out what the heck. Apologize, everyone. I don't know why it's behaving this way. Let me do a little refresh on it.
Thank you very much, Ford. It's been a very long time since I've been here. This is Deborah Taveras with StopTheCrime.net. I say that because there is a very significant YouTube there on Stop the Crime. And one of the reasons why I was not here for 2.5 years, I used to be a regular attendee here. But Pacific Gas and Electric was intercepted with a download of documents professing the fact that they were going to be using directed energy weapons satellite-based on Sonoma County. That has been up on YouTube with a plan to burn up Northern California. We discovered that Pacific Gas and Electric is operated by and large by Rothschild. Rothschild owns Weather Central and also has a large hand in weather modification globally. And I'm so sad to be here today because I have family members that lost homes. And I live in a county that I call home that is being literally overrun by a power that has not yet been discussed. And I'm horrified and sad to be here right now. Very sad. But the plan to burn up Northern California was real. It was your first early warning. And they were emails that were sent to other government officials that knew about this. And I would ask you, please, to watch the YouTube, listen to it, because the second plan of burning up Northern California hasn't yet happened, but it will. It will happen. So Pacific Gas and Electric is Rothschild. Everybody listening can type in PG&E followed by Rothschild. You can also type in Edison International in Southern California, followed by Rothschild. You will in fact find out that Rothschild is behind all of the utilities nationwide. This is why our grid is not hardened up against an electric and EMP.
They always get people to kind of look in other directions, like EMPs and etc. like that, get them fearful. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Wow, that was a lot of sneezes. I want to see real quick again when this video was released. She exposed it 10 years ago, so she says that one first published January 11th, 3 hours ago. So this was supposedly a 10-year-old video where them talking about that, and kind of what Joe Rogan was saying, and what the fireman was telling him was like, oh, you get that perfect wind. And it seems like through the years they've been trying to get the perfect wind. They've been trying to do this for a while, But but obviously they succeeded this time seemingly. So, but let's continue.
Magnetic pulse. We are literally here as a country and a society, and here in Northern California and elsewhere, at the hands of something larger than what we realize. And I was quieted for 2.5 years, so I have been here. But I'm here now, and I'm just telling you this. You had an early warning, but you didn't pay heed. It was too outrageous and too outlandish to believe that it was real, but it was. W. Tavera, stop the crime. Thank you.
This lady was talking about directed energy weapons being used in Maui and California over 10 years ago, guys. Like, that's insane. We're not going to watch this whole thing. I'm going to try to see if I can find that other part. This is just her talking more. Maybe this is... Okay, yeah. This is just that same going on. But plan to burn California would do direct energy weapons. Check that out on darknesstolight.111. So if you want to watch the full thing. All right, this is in Sonoma County. This was released again around 3 hours ago from California. So.
A haunting but mesmerizing scene from the wildfires in Sonoma County. A man came across this tree burning from the inside out. Matthew McDermott was driving around looking for escape routes as multiple fires closed in on the area he was in. The tree appears to be hollowed out by embers and flames.
Directed energy weapons, also known as DEWs, are weapons that deploy a highly focused energy beam, including lasers, microwaves, and particle beams. After decades of research in the United States, defense contractors announced back in 2015 that these systems are expected to come online by 2020, and are currently announcing that they are ready to deploy in the field. Russia, China, India, and the UK are developing directed energy weapons as well. And Iran has had them in use since at least 2013. In 2019, Turkey was the first to officially deploy this technology in combat, when they claimed to have shot down a Chinese-made drone supplied to the Libyan National Army. On September 16th, Defense Secretary Mark Esper announced that China and Russia have already weaponized satellites with directed energy weapons.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain.
In space, everyone knows that this is happening in space. Like, they have to put those lasers so far away. They can't possibly doing it from a drone. Duh, they're from satellites.
They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more, in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
And for the past few years, many have wondered if these advanced weapon systems have anything to do with the unprecedented fires we have seen in the past few years.
Oh, how dare you.
Laser-based weapons are able to destroy the target with external heat. And microwave weapons are designed to penetrate the target through external antennas and sensors and ignite the internal electronics, destroying them from the inside out. This could explain how thousands of homes have rapidly burned into their own footprint, while the trees surrounding them survive. And it could explain the several cars we have seen utterly destroyed, with temperatures hot enough to liquefy glass and metal. Michael Janich, host of the YouTube Dutch Sense channel, has been researching the Earth's seismic activity for the past 10 years. During the past few weeks, he has discovered satellite imagery that show an equal distance spread of fires, all starting within the same 4 hours.
4 hours? We've got ourselves an equal distance spread of fires. Here, 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 and here. So, what could cause an equal distance spread of fires? Well, only two things, Mother Nature or man, right? There's no storm in the area. You can't blame a storm. So what could cause equal distance spaced fires to spread out across, what do you think that is, 1/3 of Idaho?
And he also discovered what looks to be a beam of light that can be seen in the infrared spectrum, like a microwave. On September 8th, a beam of light can be seen directed to the Dolan Fire of California. The beam appears to excite the heat signature of the fire as it is held on target for over 2 hours.
Right before dawn, watch that. This is yesterday, going into this morning. This is in California, the beam coming from space, up above
from space,
Oregon, or somewhere in between this and Oregon. And as it's going through, see how it excites? As the beam is spreading.
Oh, it's getting so exciting.
And look how it excites. It's no doubt about it. And the beam spreads first. Look, beam spreads first.
I see this. This is pictures from satellites, so you know the beam is also from satellites.
It goes from a tiny, little, tight beam to a wide beam, then the fire spreads to a wide fire.
The next day, a beam of light is seen directed at and exciting the heat signature of the Holiday Farm Fire in Oregon for over an hour.
Here it is now, and it's 2 of them, and it's only going to one fire, a different fire, and it's moving. Okay, it's moving, there's clouds going through it, which rules out it being an artifact. The clouds are passing through and interfering with the beam.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing.
Meanwhile, in space, go ahead.
The beam.
The beams, the killer beams from outer space. I know, I do that. I do that too good, don't I?
Beijing have turned
Saturday.
All right, let's keep chugging.
Peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
The timing of this public admission is interesting. These weapons of the future are now officially being deployed. Are we currently being attacked with directed energy weapons? And if so, by who?
And imagine like how you could also use this for weather control, weather modification, right? You heat up a certain part of the area, maybe move a little storm this way, a little that way, you know? Oh, spooky music.
Produces systems that do everything from detect the threats to identify the threats, determine whether it's a threat to the aircraft, and then employs the appropriate weapon, in this case, a laser weapon system.
What we're hearing from our customers.
Oh, wait, they have laser weapons in the air coming from aircraft? I could have never imagined.
Is that they need.
And from the ground?
A layered, multi-domain, defensive
and from the sea
approach that can be integrated across platforms to neutralize these threats across all those domains.
Yeah, like the threat of democracy and the republic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so loud. I apologize to everyone's ears. Let me turn this down a little bit. No, I don't want that. Oh, here it is.
Imagine an aircraft equipped with a laser system with the capability to be able to neutralize a threat at the speed of a lightning strike, the precision of a surgical scalpel, with the magazine to deal with a swarm, and with the scalable effect to be able to address that threat, providing an effect all the way the one end from simply deterring it for a short period of time, all the way up to completely neutralizing and defeating that threat.
Proven system architect. Proven system architecture. Oh, so they already figured it out. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is known fact.
I feel like that happens a lot.
We can
shut up with all your
neutralize and disable a threat at any moment with a laser.
Yeah.
We were able to integrate our laser weapon system, Athena, into the classified C2 network and receive cues from the radar on the range in order to...
What a lovely goddess.
Lovely goddess Athena over war and all types of craziness.
Execute the full kill chain.
The full kill team. Out this Friday.
The Helios laser weapon system.
The Helios
builds on 40 years of combat system engineering and radar excellence. That is a fundamental change for laser weapon systems, which here to date have been prototypes added to a ship. Helios will be integrated into the ship.
Oh, Helios will be integrated to the ship. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying they just can't not with the names. I mean, everywhere you turn, it's some paying homage to Helios.
Can I please get sharks with freaking lasers on them? That's all I want is sharks with lasers.
Drones with freaking laser beams, man.
So what's exciting about this technology is that it's scalable. It's lived in the laboratory for many years, but has finally reached the power levels and the effectiveness to allow it to be used on the battlefield. As an example, today's laser weapon systems can be used to defeat rockets, artillery, mortars, and even small UAVs. And as that technology and capability scales, the effectiveness scales with it. We'll be to the point here shortly where we'll be able to defend aircraft against incoming missiles and even reach out over long distances and destroy ballistic missile threats.
Dude, they're going to put lasers on missiles, and then the missiles will have lasers.
Freaking lasers.
Laser weapon systems are...
Oh, did y'all see that, guys? These are racist lasers, look. Advancing discriminating capabilities. Oh, my God.
Laser weapon systems are earning their way onto the battlefield. Lockheed Martin advancements in the fundamental subsystems, be it beam control, high energy laser, beam direction, power and thermal, is bringing a system-of-system approach to our customers' most challenging problem. Lockheed Martin can bring that end-to-end capability into the theater for the life of our platforms and help defend the brave women and men who boldly go in harm's way to defend our freedoms.
To defend our fiat currency. But no, seriously, thank you to all you veterans. Like, I know your heart was right, but obviously we know the system is what it is, so. Lockheed Martin.
In the 21st century,
your mission,
laser warfare will become
This laser weapon can
common
target targets such as drones,
standard.
rockets, and mortars, and can do so for a fraction of the price of other missile-powered defense systems.
Yeah, dude, there's literally, again, we're not going to watch through all this, but, like, just let me skip through. There's literally so much talk about these systems. And this isn't nothing new. This stuff has been around forever. So to say that it's not possible to put it on a drone and fly it through. No, I saw it too. I'm just kind of skipping around, so I don't know if I'll find it. But the benefits of direct energy weapons, like, they're literally, it's out there. So, yeah. It's obvious.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, look at this.
That's quite dangerous in a pyro's hands.
He's cutting that from that distance, bro. the metal.
Crazy. See how it doesn't catch fire though?
Well, it's because he's doing it slow. But watch, he'll if once he gets it.
Yeah, but it's cardboard. Don't you think it would have just ignite up?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. Like why it doesn't instantly catch on fire. I think he's doing it really fast. I think if he like did it in the corner, as opposed to like, you know what I mean. I don't know. I would
Even with like even with like a magnifying glass or other lasers, it's actually hard to start a fire. It just seems to just destroy the material and turn it into carbon.
Yeah.
It doesn't even like necessarily ignite it.
Yeah, totally.
Have you seen what's going on out there these days at night? Probably not, because you're too busy on the phone or watching television. So let's show you what they're doing out there at night. Prepare to be amazed at this footage as they're calibrating energy weapons, calling it safe and effective for geographical purposes. Oh, it's for mapping. It's just so that we know exactly where you are. There's nothing to be concerned about as they fly over, beaming you with mystery tech. It's almost like they're spraying you like bugs with the chemtrails. But this is vastly different. What's important to understand here is that this is a solid state energy weapons platform. It can be tuned into whatever frequency that they want. Right now it's visible green, but at the push of a button, it's invisible, microwaving you, sending waves of microwave frequencies, or whatever frequency they choose. This is a proof of concept, and it goes way beyond safe and effective. And it's just another thing that we've been monitoring here at Stranger Than Fiction News. These energy weapons have been massively deployed everywhere. Boeing is one of the largest energy weapon manufacturers in the world right now. They don't care about planes anymore, as you can see. They're worried about beaming people from planes. That's big business. That's what everybody wants in the military, in the deep state. It's the next frontier.
You're muted.
This so something to me, this makes perfect sense because see how all these videos are almost like random. It was like they're caught by security cams. They're caught by, like we don't have a ton of them because like think of how easy this could have happened in your neighborhood to your houses being scanned or for whatever purpose. And you weren't there. Like you weren't awake. You weren't you know what I mean? And how quickly they could do that at night, sweep a whole neighborhood, and you would have never known they were there. You know what I mean? It's pretty creepy for sure.
If you're not absolutely shocked by this footage, you should be. You should be paying attention. Unfortunately, most people flunked out of science, and so they don't really appreciate what this technology can do. But it can beam you as planes fly by. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Beaming people as planes fly by. But that's not it. There's so much more. They've weaponized everything, including the radar. We're going to have to fire the video guy. Fire the video guy. Listen to this.
All right, so I just wanted to document the continuing microwave pulses that we are getting hit with every day. And I'm noticing they are ramping up. On the 16th, they started at 9:11 at night until 9:11 in the morning. You see the pulse going from the east to the west coast. All right, boom, you see that? Those are NEXRAD stations. Each of those towers are 750 kilowatts, pumping out between 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz. Boom, see that?
Do they make us pay for energy, but yet they're willing to just use this energy to do for nefarious reasons? It's like, I get, this stuff makes me so angry, and it's like, what do we do? And that's why obviously our first, the first thing we gotta fix is our hearts and our thoughts and our actions towards the Father, and getting in line with Him spiritually, because, these are spiritual battles, even though there's people contributing to it. It's like, these are spiritual battles, and of course that they set up these things to have negative effects for various reasons. They do get so many benefits out of things like this, medical bills, who knows, all to the extent, but it's crazy. And this isn't talking about that, but how we may not even see, we're talking about directed energy weapons and blue beam and Satelloons and all these things, and it's like, dude, there could be so much there could be so much overlap. Oops, excuse me. There could be so much overlap in the way that they use these technologies together, like this whole bursting thing that's going on the screen. Like, maybe they use that for weather manipulation, but they also use it to put out harmful radiation out to people, and it's just so aggravating that we can see these things. We can see the lines in the sky, and there's nothing really we can do about it. And it's not like spiritual deceit where we can look to the scriptures to what to do and what to think and how to behave. It's like we have to kind of just see these things happening, seeing the boulder roll down the hill and not be able to stop it. It's just there's too much mass to try to stop those type of programs, and it just really sucks. So let me skip that part this real quick. I don't want to watch. I get it, but this is still directed energy weapons, right? Them using that energy as a weapon against us health-wise.
Pass on the experiment from the telecom industry, showing you with their meters how this invisible beam follows you around, microwaving you. Oh no, it's Boeing. It's the chronic fatigue, heart palpitations, pain not associated with an injury. Does any of this stuff on TV, these people that don't pass the Turing test, chances are this thing has already been unleashed from the lab. For body armor on the front, it's all been weaponized already while we were sleeping, doom scrolling from crisis to crisis. This thing doesn't miss.
I don't really appreciate the creepy music and the kind of nihilistic view this guy has. I appreciate the research he does and the stuff that he's presenting. I don't know how far getting people scared does. Like, should they be informed? Absolutely. Should they know these things? Should the people know that these things exist? Yes. But, and to be aware of them, have storable food, have a get out of Dodge bag, have, preparations to help, right, within these cases. But to a certain extent, there's nothing you can do, and that's okay. Like, we got to lean on the Father for his protection, right? We got to lean on him in those trying times, and I'm totally up for that. But I also think we have to do our part in preparing, knowing that anywhere, anytime, things like this can happen, whether it's an actual natural disaster or whether it's a targeted attack for, various reasons. And it's just something that I think we should think about, and we should keep in mind that this capability exists out there, All right, I don't know. So, pull this out. I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second. Boom. So yeah, what's some thoughts y'all have rolling around from what we've seen so far and what we've kind of talked about? Oh, and we'll go back to this last video to kind of when we're done talking a little bit. Frankie B, Kyle, thoughts?
Yeah, I going with that last video there, like with what you were saying, I get that it's intimidating because it could be you, and it could be you if you were a mark to them, like they actually wanted to just disappear you. It wouldn't take much to do so. So, and you could be just collateral damage caught up in their shenanigans going on at any point in time. But I tend to believe that the Father has his angels ministering and at work even in these scenarios, and making things happen for his children to make a way out, to find a way out. That it's he always takes care of his own, and even if you do perish, in this life because of them, it's that won't be held against you for any reason. You live your life according to the commandments, and we have a faithful high priest who we are faithful that he'll redeem us at that at that time and resurrect us. So even if we do succumb to their disasters and perish, it's not we shouldn't see it as the end. And honestly, the way I really would prefer to look at it is that these are probably times that need to occur, that are prophesied, that are coming to pass, that are required to happen, maybe necessarily, and eventually it'll come about the fulfillment of our Messiah coming down to the earth with his kingdom.
Well, it obviously can't be that, Kyle, because I'm going to be teleported out before any of the bad stuff starts happening.
Yeah. Look around.
Yeah, that's why I can't buy into that, because if for whatever reason they're just trying to destroy us, and it's sad that they just want to just get their their 10 commandments, 500 million people living in a world of peace and love and and controlling everything. It's just sad, man.
That doesn't exist anymore, Frankie, don't you know?
Oh yeah, just because they blew it up doesn't mean it don't.
Yeah,
it don't exist for us to see. That's all.
Wild.
Yeah, and I think, even within these times, in California, in Maui, that the Father and his messengers, right, they showed up, they saved people that wouldn't have been saved. They, it wasn't all just a win for evil, right? When they do these things, the Father shows up, and there's so many miracles in these situations. And they like to tout them out, right? Like, they actually like to talk about, oh, this person was almost this, and it saved them, and right, they bring it as like, oh, we're all together, we're all fighting this natural disaster, this act of God, and it's just they win so much with it, right? And it's like, I don't want them to also win in your mind where, yes, this exists, but you're fearful of it, and it's like, why should we fear those who can destroy the body, but, neglect to think about the one that could destroy our body and our soul? And even further than that, like, he doesn't want to, he wants to give us eternal life. And, to me, once I started really down this track, a lot of the fears that they tried to push on us was just, they were so easily shed at that point, because I'm like, yeah, it happens, but the Father's, like, in his word says he protects those, like, he protects his children. He doesn't just, and we see that with Job, right? Like, yeah, the Job definitely had some bad stuff happen to him, but it was like the evil one had to ask specifically, to do so. And so, it makes you, to me, that's so much, there's so much relaxation that I get from that. Knowing that, like, yeah, they have all this technology or whatever, but the Father is way stronger than any of their weapons that they concoct.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
We have full protection by the Father. If you have faith in the Father, if you don't have faith in the Father, then you're going to be subjected to their
whims.
scheme.
Yeah,
to
schemes.
their whims. That's it. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. All right, let's hear these couple guys chat a little bit. Of course, we're not going to watch this whole video, but let's see what they have to say.
Give me some good news today, Robert, please. I'm getting hammered. Everyone's coming at me left and right. Oh, Juan was wrong. Told you so. And I'm like, man, this is a tough game we're playing here, man.
No, I do think April is an epic month. I don't have any direct access. And I told Juan, me and 6 other guys were going to slash every tire in his $1 million car collection if this stuff didn't come to pass.
Are we going to see the EBS happen? Is the EBS a reality?
It's a near-death experience for America. It's a near-death experience to most people. They will believe, just like your questions indicate, that we're about to go down for the count. It's the end. It's over. We go to hell for the rest of eternity. The globalists win. The devil wins. It's all over for us. That's a near-death experience. All the way into hell, the silvery cord is cut, and you're trapped in hell for the rest of forever. It's not patty cakes.
There's no easy way out of this, guys. There's no easy way out of this. In other words, what he's saying is this is a near-death experience. It's going to feel like it's over, like it does already. It's going to get much worse.
Who is Juan O'Savin then?
Juan O'Savin is given intel by the Octagon Group as to be a white hat.
Okay.
You have to understand, Juan O'Savin, Street Fighter, all of them, they all come out of nowhere. Think about this, folks. They all come out of nowhere and got real popular real fast. Nobody does that without the okay from the elites.
So the white hats are going after these people because these people are not white hats themselves. In other words, these
it down, make up a false flag reason is my belief.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Very
bothered me about Maui. Let me deal in this particular broadcast with the national security implications, and I'm going to turn the page here. And I'm not alleging any funny business. I just want to say the day that this happened, this greatly assisted China. Maui is the eyes and ears of the nation. Let me just go through a few things here. The most sophisticated high-performance computers are in Maui, and they're geared and run a lot of our national defense through AI. Was that destroyed? We'll never know. They won't tell us. The Space Force is headquartered in Maui. The Space Force is really about the only advantage we have over China. Maybe the submarines, but Space Force definitely.
Yeah, Space Force does a whole bunch with this guy. Like, honestly, we're coming up to time anyways. I don't want to hear that. I thought it'd be way more interesting of a conversation.
115 people dead just a few weeks ago. Oprah Winfrey, and we're honored to announce the People's Fund of Maui, a fund putting money directly in the pockets of those who were affected by the recent wildfires. As we have seen firsthand, the impacts of these are trying to scam people under the guise of asking for donations. Jason later advised his fans to only donate to funds and campaigns that he himself had shared on his account.
I personally know people that are telling me that and destruction is way worse than we're being told. I am witnessing the cover-up by the media firsthand.
I'm Raylene and located in Maui. I live in Kihei and I wanted to share some local updates. Shocking, or maybe not. About the fires, did you hear that the government of Hawaii states their goal is to rebuild and make the entire island of Maui the first smart island? They want the entire island governed by AI, as outlined in the Hawaii Digital Government Summit of 2023, that they plan to host next month on September 25th, 2023 on Maui. Wow! Now they're going to come to the rescue for this horrible problem. And last January in 2023, there was a Smart City Conference in Maui to turn Maui, again, into the Smart City Island, pushing everything electric, making 15-minute smart cities. And there was also a contract last year to build a high-rise condo complex and businesses in Lahaina, which was a historic town that couldn't have any new development in this area. But now it's demolished, so now I guess they have to rebuild, right?
How lucky. They're just so lucky all the time. Let's skip a little bit. We're coming
to destroy the target with external heat.
Yeah, we already saw
Private
this.
jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once.
Carry.
Honestly, if that's where you want to. We don't own a private jet. I don't own a private jet. I personally have never owned a private jet. And obviously, it's pretty stupid to talk about coming in a private jet from the State Department up here. It just, honestly, if that's where you want to go there.
Mr. Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane and she sold the plane.
You flew on
That's
that plane?
All of my trip.
Yeah, I had access, but it wasn't like my personal. It wasn't like I drove it around.
I flew on it, but my wife owned it.
Yeah.
Of course, but you put it in her name.
Yeah,
Okay,
serpent languages, man. Serpent tongues.
Yeah.
My wife bought it. The pilot flew it.
What was that? Sorry.
I said my wife bought it, and the pilot was flying it.
Yeah.
I was just sipping champagne and
Look,
flying.
all right, listen, everybody. The world is we're gonna have an ice age by the year 2028. All right, it's just obviously Al Gore there. So yeah.
That's why I sold my plane, man.
That's why I sold my plane.
It had nothing to do with them calling us hypocrites when it talked about global warming. That was just coincidental time. Are you a conspiracy theorist?
Yeah,
right.
Private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once.
Kerry acts as a ringleader to the Mockingbird media and the many in the U.S. Capitol going rogue for the New World Order inside the halls of our republic.
The idea that there's not global warming, I think, can't be denied by anybody anymore.
And we're doing everything that we can to tackle the root causes of climate change. This is why the Inflation Reduction Act is so important.
They've already announced in our office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate. So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
You look at the storms, you look at the disasters, and if you're still denying the impact of climate change.
See, that's what they do. They're like, see, look at all of these natural disasters. It's because y'all need to pay us money because y'all are putting out carbon. Please forget that we have private jets and we have motorcades of vehicles anytime we go anywhere. And we have mansions that we heat all across the United States, all across the world that we pay to heat even though we're not there. But it's y'all's fault for global warming. It's literally insane what these people do. Like, of course. Dude, it literally blows my mind. It's
insane and not
insanity.
even real.
You know, you got to look. L.A. burned to the ground because of global warming. Come on, man. L.A. burned to the ground. Maybe that's why they did it, so that it would stick in our heads. Like, hey, L.A., the most Mecca of the world, burned to the ground.
Just to let you actually guys know that back in the day in Sodom and Gomorrah, that was because of global warming too. Like, yeah, if I didn't dig down in a hole, and like I would have been totally turned to salt. So yeah, like it was global warming all the way back then.
Yeah, right.
No, literally, like an act of God could happen, and it's because of Donald Trump, and then like they set the world on fire, and they're like, oh, it's global warming. Like,
It's you guys. You guys, all the cow farts.
don't you understand that because you don't want to eat these roaches?
Bugs.
Yeah, they eat these bugs and enjoy it. That it's your fault. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's so aggravating.
Respectfully, you could just burn me in the fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the impact of billions and billions of Americans pumping carbon into the atmosphere.
Billions and billions of Americans. There's 300 million there, high IQ dude.
You're living in an alternate reality.
You're living in an alternate reality. You just said the billions and billions of Americans, bro.
These two are shills, man. They are the worst.
You did not say that, bro. There's not even a billion Americans. What is he talking about?
The Americans are all over the world. There's billions of them.
Billions and billions of lasers.
These are the people who bring you the news.
Do your part. Actively declare the New World Order's climate change ruse dead on arrival.
Why do you think 195 countries in the world, their prime ministers, their presidents?
Because they're grifting like you are, sir.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
Oh. What is going on here?
Hey, you can't say this gravy online.
Yeah.
This is unshareable facts.
That's pretty funny getting called out like that.
Where's the YouTube badge, Wikipedia fact checker?
And we work out
Sea levels haven't risen. Stop grifting.
Is already at net zero. About 3% of all emissions on planet Earth are from humans. The rest come out of the oceans. Some comes out of mammals breathing out like ourselves.
Oh, see, we need to get rid of the mammals. We need to bring that number pretty close to zero, if you know what I mean, right? Am I right, or am I right?
How dare you?
Oh, how dare I, indeed.
I'm breathing out 4% carbon dioxide, and some of it comes out of volcanoes. So you can do some very simple calculations to show that we are being fed an enormous load of rubbish.
You can't say that, sir. That's racist.
And to make matters
enormous load of rubbish.
In the past, we can see from looking at the past that every time we've had an ice age, we've had more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than now. So it's clear that carbon dioxide cannot drive global warming.
You're saying the government is...
I agree, sir. Last time we had that ice age, I'd say there was definitely more carbon dioxide. I remember. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm so glad we have that in the history books, that there were people around to jot that down so that we know. Just like the Big Bang, I'm glad there was someone there to record that nothing became everything. It's so convenient.
Yeah, actually, that one you can just look back in time when you're just staring at the stars and see it happening. Because,
you can see it in reverse because time. Yeah, like if the further you zoom in, like the more.
You're looking through space time.
Yeah, and it's bending.
A load of rubbish.
Weather tampering techniques so that the quote New World Order
will be able to starve millions of Americans
worldwide,
and to control the rest.
Yes, sir, and that's my belief. As bizarre as that sounds, if somebody had told me that equipment even existed 10 years ago, I would have thought they were nuts, sir.
Yeah, I was told that I was nuts.
And as bizarre as that is, it is proven and documented. We will supply you with those documents.
Oh, so that's a guy talking before Congress, meaning if he lies and says things that aren't true, he can go to jail, to prison for that. No, he's just a conspiracy theorist.
Bizarre as that is, I would say that weather wars, and this is quoting actually Senator Claiborne Pell himself, that they are the greatest weapon ever created in the world, and that's the senator's own statement. So yes, I do stand on that.
To stop these disasters from getting even worse, we have to cut the carbon pollution that's driving the climate crisis, and that's what the Inflation Reduction Act is all about. As Karine noted, we're marking the one-year anniversary of a truly transformative piece of legislation, the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the largest investment in clean energy and climate action ever in the United States, in the history of the world.
Oh, so carbon, the more carbon, the more inflation. So it's all our fault that we're paying all of these fees because we're just putting so much carbon out there that they have to charge us.
Yeah, when they say carbon cut, I'm like, hey, aren't I like 95% carbon? Aren't we like 95% carbon? What carbon are you referring to?
Wait, isn't all life carbon? Are you talking about the oxygen? I mean, are you talking about the gas or the solid version?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
But first, I want to acknowledge that today's event is coming during a time of heartbreak as the toll of extreme weather fueled by climate change is being felt across the country and the world. This summer has brought one climate disaster after another, from extreme heat in Arizona and Texas and across the Southeast to floods in Vermont and upstate New York to thick smoke from Canadian wildfires.
Weird. Didn't that thing we watched earlier say that the these weapons are going to be deployed in the late in the 2020s? Wait, what year is it? It's 2025. I wonder if they deployed these weapons at all. Let me think. High IQ, here it comes.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna shake the 8-ball and be like, seems unlikely.
Seems very unlikely. Yeah. No chance.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't really want to watch these fools anymore. Their lies, their deceit. It's like all they can do. It's almost like their hobby to spread this type of stuff. So, and it's like they give us so much mixture of like lies and truth, and it's confusing, and all you can do is speculate, right? Like you can see it right out in front of you, but like we don't know specifically. Do they have a really big one from a saddle loon? Are they doing it with swarm and small ones? Are they doing it medium up with predators? Are they driving around through? Right? They could do it land, air, and sea. California on land, air, and sea is Maui on land, air, and sea. They could have a boat drive by and they could have a freaking Google car drive. Oh, that's just the camera tracking software. There's no lasers on there. We would see them. They don't have invisible lasers that are silent. Right? So we saw all these facts over and over and over of the technology they had from 10 years ago, from 5 years ago, till recently, showing you the capabilities that they've had and have and will get to. And so, yeah, it's kind of sucks that they have this stuff. And, of course, the evil one is going to use every means that he can have to kill, steal, and destroy. That's nothing new. And so that's why we can't rely on painting our house blue. We can't rely on, some type of system inside our house to save us. Like the Father's going to be there. His angels are going to be there. Our hope, our foundation, our fortress is the Father. And so if we aren't good with him, if we aren't right in our soul, right, then maybe you should fear these things. Maybe that's why so many people fear all of these things that the world uses, is because they're fearful of what death means, what that next step in their spiritual journey is, and what that could conclude to. And so we should be working out our salvation with fear and trembling. We should be paying attention to not only the world, so that we don't perish for a lack of knowledge, but that we're right in our walk and in our heart, and above all, we look to the Father for salvation. We look to the Father for protection. So I hope I had fun talking about this episode. 2 hours flies by when you're able to talk about these things, even from, saying, hey, like, yeah, it is kind of scary, but we have the Father perspective. So I'd love to hear, before we say our goodbyes, kind of y'all's final thoughts, sum up where you're at with it, and we'll have Kyle go first, and then Frankie be after it, and then we'll wrap up with our goodbyes and call it a stream. So I'll throw it off to you, Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my final thoughts on the subject are that people are kind of starting to become aware of it, even if it's happening kind of slowly. I hear just normal conversations, not with me involved in them, but with other people discussing them, and they are, they themselves sound like conspiracy theorists, just average people, because people aren't buying the narrative. They find it all a little bit coincidental and strange, and there is that shift in, I guess, consciousness or belief or understanding or whatever, where people are kind of starting to wake up. But at the same time, that's another reason for them to like really gun down and amp up everything. So it can be good and bad in the same way. But all I can say is, we have the Father, we have the Son, we have we if we live our lives accordingly, we have nothing to fear. Essentially, we have the fear of the Father is enough, because that really is what our fear should be, is that he is the one who can judge our souls, and so we live righteously according to him, so that we are judged according. Like Zach was saying, if we live our lives in a way that we're guiltless, then when these events come, we're not going to fear and panic and stress about them too much, because it's not really the end.
Yeah, and
So,
even if it's your time to leave this mortal state at this point, it's like I always jokingly say, like, what's the worst they can do? Torture us to death? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
in reality, it's like they can only do so much. And again, why fear him who can destroy the body, and not him who can destroy the body and the soul, right? So absolutely great thoughts. Let's throw it over to you, Frankie B. Final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, it's just lies after lies after lies. I mean, you know what? I just praise God that we are protected and that we don't have to deal with this. We can actually watch it and have fun on YouTube, laughing about it, but this is really seriously affecting people all over this realm, and it's sad, man. It's just sad that they don't value us. And when it comes down to it, you just have one thing: your faith in your Father, and knowing that he will protect you, he loves you, he's given you everything, and that's all we can really stand on. And just be thankful every day that we wake up and we're able to live a prosperous and abundant life, because we really are rewarded. We are totally rewarded for for just being in his presence and in his thoughts and in his love. So that's where I end this with. But, just hold on to the truth, continue to strive after righteousness, and treat others the way you want to be treated. And you will be rewarded, because the Father loves to pour out rewards on his children.
Yeah, absolutely. And something to add to what you were saying is, like, I'm pretty sure in scripture it says 364 or 65 times, do not be afraid, or some variation of that, right? And think about how many things in the world there is legitimate, you would say, legitimate reason to be scared of. And this is definitely one of those things. But again, one's for every day, right? And one day at a time, do not be afraid. And it's like, I really lean on that, because again, what's the worst that they can do to us, right? And so, it's leaning on the Father for that, and all the aspects of our life, and what more can we ask for? So, sweet, guys. Well, this has been a super fun stream. Sorry the stream has been a little bit tippy-toed. I felt like after the recent thing with California, like, it just gave me, okay, yeah, I know exactly what we're talking about, because this covers Maui. It covers, it connects right with all the stuff, weather manipulation and stuff that happened in North Carolina, and now we got the wildfires in California, and all that's doing, and all the connections and weird coincidences that happen. So I hope y'all enjoyed too. We actually had like 28 people watching at a time, so thank you all. We're up to 1262 on subscribers, so thank you to all the new recent subscribers. I really wanted to have that show with Sean and Austin, but I'm guessing maybe Sean had that planned up in the kind of the back seat, and I kind of had the same idea, but he had already set it up. I'm not exactly sure, but I still am trying to get Austin on, because I'd love to talk to him more directly about the final experiment and kind of some of the ideas and speculations that he has go forward. But that's for another time, getting into caught a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway,
smash that like button before we go, people.
Yeah,
get this views up, and we'll get us going.
Yeah, we're creeping up to that 2,000. We'll do another giveaway. But yeah, let's call it a stream. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for all those likes, all those shares, all the subscriptions, and the comments. They really do help the channel grow. Thank you for Sean for helping me with that number, and thank you to all those new recent subscribers. It really does help. But until next time, remember that ABBA loved you first. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom.